Yo, what up, Nyakos? It's your buddy Philko here, putting live for your mama's house. Doing my thing as I usually do. About to kind of make a part two to the video I made about Kent and him feeling discriminated against about over this girl he was with. Apparently, according to this guy, Mulatto Scorpio, who's a subscriber, he's a cool guy. I just remember one time he said some shit I didn't like at all. It was some real bullshit. But other than that one time, and I forgot what he said by now, he's a pretty cool dude. He speaks his mind. He's a logical guy. But in my opinion, right now, he's fucking up. And I'm going to read what he wrote under my video, and then I'm going to respond. The first thing he wrote was, Philko, you doing this because you care or you like to gossip? My answer to that is either way, I do what I want. I respect you, but this guy's been asking you to stop talking about him, and you continue to do so. And my answer to that is, the fuck is he going to do? Like I said, I do what I want. By the way, I want to clear you up on something. You said liking taller men isn't discrimination. Kent and this girl have been dating for a couple of weeks. They went on dates and even kissed, okay? It was only a few weeks later that she got this guy who was 6'2" and talked about how tall he was, okay? You're right that you don't have to like short guys, but why date someone who's short when you know full well you don't prefer them? Only to date someone who fits into your criteria and dump the other guy. Now that is discrimination. Okay, that's not discrimination. When it comes to discrimination and anything with your personal relationships, there's no such thing as discrimination. You should be able and will always be able to, as long as I'm alive, hopefully in this country. You can choose your friends by any criteria you want, and you can choose your lovers by any criteria you want. There's not a business deal. This isn't some guy at McDonald's not serving you French fries because you're short or because you're black. This isn't the situation. You choose your friends. If you don't want to have gay friends, you don't have to have gay friends. These are just examples. When it comes to your personal relationship, there is no such thing as discrimination, because in that case, we all discriminate and we should all be in trouble. No, it's perfectly natural for people to so-called discriminate with their sexual preferences, because in that case, everybody would have a girl. There'd be no such thing as a single guy. It'll be much easier to get girls. You just settle for that fat, stinky, ugly, smelly bitch that nobody wants. If you didn't really discriminate, you'd have her. But you don't want her. Why? Because she's not attracted to you. So should I say, oh my God, you're discriminating? Should I say you're discriminating for that? You're single, you don't have a girl. Hey, why don't you try men? Oh, you don't want men? Oh, you're discriminating. You don't want men. But I guess you say this discrimination because she dated him and she even kissed him, which shows she liked him. She can choose to do with her personal life as she chooses. So if she chooses to be with Kent until she finds someone she actually likes, that's not discriminating against Kent. She was just dating his ass. She just doesn't like him as much as she likes the other guy. The better man, in her opinion, won. That's it. That's not discrimination. It's her personal relationship. She does what she wants. Not saying what she did was right or good. She's not discriminating against Kent. She was really so-called discriminating against Kent. As soon as she saw, she'd be like, ew, get the fuck away from me. She wouldn't even want him around her. She would be rude to him. That's not even what happened. Like you said, they dated. She even kissed him. She met a guy she likes better. That's not discrimination, okay? Then I said, no, that's not discrimination. She can show how much love she wants towards anyone she chooses. She owes him nothing, even if they kiss, which is true. She owes him nothing. Even if this girl says he's in a relationship, well, I guess she owes a little. If she said they're a boyfriend and girlfriend, well, depending on how trustworthy she is and how she keeps her word, I guess she does owe him something. If she says we're like boyfriend and girlfriend, or we're in an exclusive relationship, then I can understand that. But unless she said that specifically, she owes him nothing. If she's just going out on dates casually, she owes him nothing. Besides respect when they're out on their date, and when she's on her own, she's on her own. That's not his girl. It was never his girl. He knows that. Okay, there he goes. Clearly you weren't paying attention to the video he made about her. She admitted to him that they were in a relationship. Some reason I highly doubt that. Maybe Ken fucked up because I don't remember them breaking up. She just wanted to be with the other guy, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. But that's neither here nor there right now. They went on dates and were planning things for the future, and she told him she was depressed and asked to be left alone for a few weeks. Then when she started to tell him she wasn't ready for a relationship and played him by pretending this new 6'2" guy was needing help. What would you call that? I'm not saying he and this guy asked her out and she chose a taller guy, that's discrimination. I'm saying if you tell this guy you like him and are his girlfriend and then ghost away when a taller man shows up, that's discrimination. How the fuck is that discrimination? That is fucking retarded. It's the same shit. You just said, and you can go see it. He said, I'm not saying if he and this guy asked her out and she chose a taller guy, that's discrimination. So if they were both asking her out at the same time and she chose the taller guy, he feels that's not discrimination. But he's saying, I'm saying if you tell this guy you like him and are his girlfriend and then ghost away when a taller man shows up, that's discrimination. That's not discrimination. That's kind of being a bitch. That's not discrimination. That's not discrimination. It's her personal fucking relationship. It's not discrimination. Same thing like you said with the 6'2" guy and Ken asking at the same time. That's not discrimination either. Maybe it's fucked up. Maybe it's dishonest. Because she's like, yeah, we're in a relationship. I like you. Then she just leaves when a taller guy comes around. Sure, it could be many bad words, but discrimination is not one of them. She's discriminating against me because she wants to divorce me because she likes somebody better. In that case, she's an idiot for being with him when she doesn't really even like him. That's the case. That's not discrimination. It's a case of a possible, either a girl who doesn't like to be alone, because a lot of people will get whatever they can get their hands on just so they won't be alone until they actually get what they want. That's not discrimination. That's using his ass. I would completely agree if you were saying she's using his ass or she used his ass. Maybe she did. She wanted attention and stuff. She had nobody else to get it from at the time. She probably used the shit out of him. That's probably what it is. But discrimination, no. But using the hell out of him, yeah. So going on, he said, you're basically saying a short guy is just a filler until the real taller person arrives. I'm not saying that. That's what she did. That's what she did. I'm not saying she's right. I'm saying that's what she did. I'm not going to say she discriminates. I'm going to say she did something fucked up. Kinda. You know, she used him temporarily, then moved on. At least that's what comes to my mind. I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm not talking about if they both approach her. I'm talking about telling someone you're with them only until you wait for someone taller to come knocking. That's not discrimination. That's not discrimination. That's kind of being a bitch. That's being dishonest. That's playing with someone's emotions. And that's what kind of makes some guys go MGTOW, because a lot of girls do that shit, and that's kind of fucked up, and I agree, it's fucked up. But it's not discrimination at all. That's not discrimination. Only way I can see, I can't even imagine a situation that deals with someone's personal or sexual preference being discrimination. I literally cannot imagine the situation. Unless the person, I don't know, like, for example, let's say a black guy walks up to a white girl. He goes, wow, you look very nice. Let's go on a date. And she screams, ew, you fucking dirty, ugly nigger slave. Get away from me. It's not so much that she didn't want to be with him, that I wouldn't like her to do that. It's the simple fact that she's being clearly rude and disrespectful. Not because she's saying no. That's not discrimination. Even if she dates him for 2 weeks and say, meets a nice white guy and say, ew, you're an ugly nigger, dirty slave. I'm leaving you. I'm going with this guy. That's still not discrimination because she was fucking him or she was with him. It just adds to how silly it looks calling it discrimination when she was dating the dude. You know what the fuck? She was dating his ass. She doesn't have to date him. I can understand if she had to date him and then left him for someone else. She didn't have to. She did that on her own will. And the last thing he said is, that's what to Trunks. What did Trunks say? Trunks said, she would just use a camp for comfort until her dream man arrived from another state. She probably was lonely since she came alone and new to the area. I agree with Trunks too, but he's not saying discrimination. That's the problem I have with Mulatto Scorpio here, claiming this discrimination shit. I completely agree with Trunks, but discrimination, that's not the word you want to use here. There's no such thing as discrimination when it comes to your sexual preference. You know, that is something, you know why I'm so strict on this topic is because with you guys and your PC crap in America, like, you guys are really getting out of hand with this PC bullshit. Like, once the whole bathroom thing, the whole bathroom shit, the whole debate with the bathroom, I was like, they're getting fucking ridiculous. And one day it's going to come to the point where I'm going to look like a fucked up guy because I'm not willing to experiment being bisexual or gay. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's where it's heading. You're now telling people that You're trying to make it look bad for people having preferences. I can understand being honest with people, being truthful, being straightforward. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about discriminating because a taller guy came along. Who gives a fuck? You understand? Who gives a fuck? If there's a bisexual guy, he's dating a guy, a beautiful girl comes along, he decides to be with the woman, you're going to say you're discriminating against men? Fuck that. That's your sexual preference. You guys got to understand the importance behind that. There will never and there should never be a such thing as discrimination with your sexual or personal preference, period. If it doesn't deal with any sort of business or any sort of like public thing, and when I say public thing, I mean like maybe some group meetings or some kind of clubs or some kind of publicly advertised clubs or something. I understand that. But this is your private sex life. This is your personal life, the people you choose to be friends with. You can sit next to anybody you want, but you don't have to talk to anybody next to you. You can sit next to people all day, even people you don't like. I do it all the time. But you don't have to say a word to them, and they don't have to say a word to you. You just go on with your life and leave people the fuck alone. You let people in you want to let in. People don't want to let in, say, sorry, I'm not interested. That's it. Nobody has to like you. There's no such thing as discrimination. No one has to keep dating you because they dated you. You got to put your emotions aside here with these kind of things. When it comes to equality, yeah, there should be equality, but not when it comes to your sexual and or personal preferences. When it comes to your personal life. I mean, it's kind of rude to just say this, but I've never dated a black woman. But I don't go around saying I don't date black girls. That's not my thing. Unless I'm answering a question or responding to subscribers, I'm not just going to go around saying that because that's just kind of rude. You know, I just be like, you know, I'm into white girls. You know, white, Hispanic girls maybe, but I'm intimidated. Yeah, mostly white chicks. That's it. I'm saying my preference. When I speak of my preference, it may offend people, but that's fine because there's nothing I can do. I have the right to have a preference. But when I speak about what I don't prefer, I can understand how that comes off as rude, so I try to avoid that. I try to avoid it unless it's germane to the conversation in which I'm having. Then I will say something like, I don't date black girls. You understand? But other than that, I basically have to go on the record and say, there's no such thing as discrimination when it comes to your sexual or personal preference. Like I gave another example of this. I forgot who it was, but some lady, who the fuck was this? I forgot who it was. Like, it was an important person, and apparently she was inviting people to dinner or some shit, and one of the guests was black or something, and the guest didn't come. The person told him, oh, I'm inviting another guest to your dinner. Is that okay? She was like, yeah, it's cool. He goes, all right, it's a black guy I know. She's like, look, I'm not very comfortable with black people in my apartment or something like that. That's what she said. And a lot of people got mad. And I was like, look, in this case, I understand. I wouldn't like this lady either because she's in a position of power in the government. She shouldn't be there. She obviously has racial bias in her personal life. And because of her position of power, she shouldn't be there. No, that's not good. If she can't treat people equally based on their person, she doesn't deserve a position in power in which she's governing people. But if she was just some regular fucking lady who, I don't know, works in a drive-thru or something, it's not that serious. She can have that job. If they find her doing anything racist at that job, just sue her ass and make some money. But other than that, as long as a person is some real fucking important person who governs or in the government or a police officer or something of that nature, your personal preference is your personal preference and it should never be brought into question. Now your sexual preference, no matter what position you are in life or profession, your sexual personal preference should never ever be brought into question as long as it's between you and another adult or adults. It should never be brought into question. That's it. So, any questions? Let me know, and I will respond to the comments. Later, ñejos.